Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is not only said to introduce over 8 new characters in this story in order to benefit many of the sequel trilogy and the legacy characters, but also will have many different revelations in the film that'll change how we view some of the characters from the prequels and the originals by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So, one thing about Episode 9 that a lot of fans are really excited about is, of course, how JJ is going to be exploring the origins of Supreme Leader Snoke, as well as the First Order. Now, all of this is going to be primarily based within the second act of the movie, which is give or take the middle of the film, in or around those lines. And what I like about Episode 9 so far, from what we have been hearing, is that there is going to be a lot of revelations, twists, and turns that'll actually change how we examine both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. And let's just hope that this is going to be used in a positive way and not in a negative way. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, a description of Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren, entering what's described to be an abandoned First Order base that was once the intention of becoming the headquarters of the First Order, and Snoke's destination. The next describes Kylo and the Knights infiltrating the base by blowing open a blast door that leads to Snoke's main vault that he kept hidden away that is said to contain many secrets of Darth Sidious, as well as other Sith Lords. It's described that eventually Kylo comes across a large crate that he and the Knights begin to pry open with a tool that is said to contain one of Palpatine's old lightsabers. However, it's a saber by Palpatine that was never seen before in the Star Wars movies. The hilt is described to have a red grip over a silver metallic cylindrical hilt. The next describes Kylo examining it, where it's described that he hands it to one of the knights to keep it in some kind of sack that holds the lore that they are collecting in Snoke's vault. Another piece of Palpatine lore that was hidden away by Snoke includes an old transmission of Palpatine searching for the dark energy that he felt from the unknown regions to become his new apprentice to replace Darth Vader. It's said that the energy felt by Palpatine was indeed Supreme Leader Snoke, and that Palpatine had great interest in Snoke over Vader. It said, however, that Palpatine had bigger plans than this to deal with this power of Snoke felt in the unknown regions. Lastly, it's said that Kylo also discovers a ring that also appears just like Snoke's that also belonged to Emperor Palpatine. It turns out that there were other multiple rings that had scriptures of the Dwarti etched into the gold that also belonged to Palpatine, and that the ring Snoke wears in The Last Jedi that once belonged to Sidious as well. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, what's really intriguing to me about Episode 9, obviously, is how JJ is going to handle the character of Darth Sidious / Palpatine and his role in the movie, and exactly how his role is going to have an effect on some of the characters like Rey, Kylo, Luke, and Snoke. More so Snoke, because this is where it all gets very intriguing. Now, this is, of course, JJ's way of tapping into the books. In case you guys did not read some of the books out there, it's very much implied that, of course, we had a moment in which Darth Sidious felt Snoke's presence in the unknown regions. He had a great interest in that power. And now it turns out in Episode 9, one of the transmissions that Snoke discovered about himself by Palpatine, he kept that hidden away within his headquarters. And this transmission actually involved the interest of Palpatine pretty much, taking over Darth Vader, getting rid of him and replacing him with this new power, this new dark side energy that all along was indeed Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, in case you guys did not know, there is going to be the spirit of Sidious being used in Episode 9 in some way, shape, or form, and a lot of people are starting to believe that Snoke was indeed Palpatine all along, because we do know that at some point in time in between the originals and the sequels, that Snoke went searching for Darth Sidious. It's very possible that eventually Palpatine took over Snoke's body, and that is exactly why Snoke kind of talks like Palpatine, and that there are similar quotes by Snoke that are similar to Palpatine as well. Now, moving past all of this, the other piece that I do want to go over is that Snoke was hiding one of Palpatine's lightsabers, as well as a ring that once belonged to Palpatine as well, and that it's basically the same exact one that he wore in The Last Jedi. So both of those relics / artifacts that once belonged to Sidious it really does, bring up a lot of hints and or indicators here that Snoke is indeed Emperor Palpatine in the Rise of Skywalker. And I think that is where things begin to get very interesting for sure, is that Palpatine was Snoke all along. And that's the one angle to Star Wars that I think would really change how we view not just The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, but the entire Skywalker saga, and making us change how we view Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, where Palpatine tells Anakin, to cheat death is only thing, one has achieved. And that's going to be a massive effect on not just the prequels, but the originals. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.